Orange County homeowners, I have the latest numbers, so if you want to know what's happening to home values in the area, listen up. Each month I review 4 data sets so you can quickly get an overview of what direction the market is moving. I'm Veronica Encinas with Coldwell Banker. Let's dive in. I always like to start with the sales price to list price ratio graph. As a reminder, this ratio measures what percentage of asking price homes are selling for. So if you list your home for $1 million and it sells for $1 million, the ratio is 100%. There are 3 distinct time periods you can see in this chart. The first is the time period leading up to spring of last year. During this time, interest rates were at record lows, demand was high, and the supply couldn't keep up, which means we had a lot of bidding wars. You can see that by the end of this time period, bidding wars were so frequent that the ratio topped out at 106%. The second time segment began when interest rates began climbing right here in the spring of 2022. When that happened, the high rates made many buyers step out of the market, so bidding wars decreased, and the sale price to list price ratio dropped all the way through the end of the year, where it bottomed out just below 98%. So at worst, on average, buyers were getting about 2% off the purchase price during this time. Then beginning in January of this year, the ratio began to steadily climb upward, and it has steadily remained at about 101% for the past few months. So that means we see the return of bidding wars, but not to the degree we saw leading up to last spring. Given the high rates, many people are surprised by the briskness of the Orange County market. A lot of buyers especially were hoping that the higher rates would lead to a buildup of inventory and a subsequent drop in home values. So what happened? As always with economics, it's all about the supply and the demand. Let's start by looking at demand, which we're going to measure by the number of homes sold in a month. Last month, 1,727 homes sold, which is down 200 homes from the year before and almost half of what it was 2 years ago. So yes, demand is way down. But to understand why this drop in demand hasn't led to a drop in prices, we have to look at supply, which we're going to measure by the number of listings that come on the market each month. Last month, just below 1,900 homes came on the market in Orange County. That's actually down from the month prior when 2,200 homes came on the market, nearly 1,000 homes lower than we saw this time a year ago, and almost half of what it was 2 years ago. So while our demand is down, the supply is down even more. And how has this affected value? You'll see that in our average sales price per square foot chart, which breaks down in time segments similar to what I showed you in the first chart. The first time segment is the run up to spring of 2022, where you can see dollar per square foot rose until it peaked just below $700 per square foot. From spring of 2022 through the end of last year, dollar per square foot dropped steadily until it hit just above $600 a square foot. But beginning in January of this year, as supply consistently couldn't keep up with demand, values began climbing again and now have returned to $695 a square foot, erasing all of the loss we saw last year. As we move into the second half of 2023, it's clear that in the battle of supply and demand, it's the lack of supply that's winning as the market driver. And with a large percentage of Orange County homeowners enjoying the low interest rates they locked in before last spring, it looks like the shortage of homes will continue until we see a noticeable drop in rates or until more homeowners decide their need to sell their home outweighs their desires to keep their low interest rates. The Orange County real estate market is very dynamic, and even within the county, individual cities will experience these market changes differently. If you want to know how your Orange County city is faring in all of this, contact me and I'm happy to provide a city-specific breakdown. And if someone you know may find this information helpful, click the share button below.